Hi guys, welcome to another video from Detailing and the Beast. Today we've got something from the DetailGuardz. Now the DetailGuardz have brought us some of, in my opinion, some of the most innovative products that we've seen in the detailing industry in the past 2 years. They've given us the wheel guards, which are basically where the hose doesn't get trapped under your wheel. Them things are fantastic. After that, they bought us the dirt lock, which is, in my opinion, the best grit guard that you can buy. You normally have something like this, which is literally just a grated system. The water is free to move underneath that. Yes, there are some fins to stop actual movement between the segments, but water does move in the segment, and there's nothing preventing that grit from coming back up, especially when you're doing something like rubbing your mitt on this grit guard, which is what people do. This, however, I've reviewed this before, but this, however, has bigger openings on the top than it does the bottom, and that creates some water pressure on the top that keeps the actual grit and dirt at the bottom of the bucket, and the smaller holes stop it coming back up into your wash water. So for me, these are already proven. I don't need to prove anything with these. These are already proven, and in my opinion, they are the best grit guard that you can buy. However, there was always a flaw that I didn't like about these, and that was that it floated, and I can show you this now. So you put this in, and it comes straight back up to the top. And when you're washing a car, that gets really, really annoying, as well as actually defeating the point of having a grit guard in the bottom of your bucket and keeping the grit to the bottom of the water. So for me, that was always a problem. I think it's a problem because we have bigger buckets here in the UK than in the US. So what they actually did on the second generation was to fit these tabs with these foam feet. And to some extent they work. Now they can be pushed down into the bottom of your bucket, and you have to bend these out sometimes. And you push them down into the bottom of your bucket, and it kind of locks in place with the friction from these pads. However, what I have found is that when you've got some shampoo in there, some shampoos that are a lot slicker than others, and this is where slickness is going to play a downfall, they actually lubricate these pads, and the wash pad, this grit guard comes straight back up. So what I was doing was combining the two, and I fitted my dirt lock because I like the idea of the dirt lock, and I do think it's safer than a traditional grit guard, was combine the two. Now that, with the weight of that sinks like a stone. Yes, it's rudimental, but it does work. After that, they then came up with this. Now, I thought this was absolute genius. So we have another dirt lock grit guard there, and this attachment fits into the grit guard, and it's a pump action for cleaning pads, machine pads. So you get this plunger as well, Velcro, you stick your pad on, and you clean that in the water with some solution. Absolute genius. I have reviewed this in the past, and I thought it was by far one of the best things I've ever reviewed, and I still stand by that. Absolutely amazing. It was a little expensive, if I remember rightly, because obviously you have to have a dirt lock, and if you don't have one already, then, you know, this doesn't fit anything else other than their system. But I really did like that. Now, I also found another use for this. I put it in my rinse bucket, and when I'm doing a 2-bucket wash, and yes, I know I'm an advocate of the multi-wash method, the multi-mitt method, but when I'm doing a 2-bucket wash, if I've got this in my rinse bucket, I can use this to actually agitate my mitt in the rinse water and get it nice and clean rather than just swilling it around, okay? So I found that to be another excellent use. I think the DetailGuardz have picked up on that because their newest item, it's exactly the same mechanism as this, where you've got a spring action and holes in the top that force jets of water out, but this one has got ribs on it. Now this is called the scrub and pump. So exactly like I was doing before, but this one has the raised fins. So now not only can you agitate the fibres in your mitt, you can also wash it out at the same time. I think that is absolutely genius. On top of that, if you put this new dirt lock, let me just take this off. This new dirt lock, it looks exactly the same as the old ones, but if you now put that into a bucket of water, that one sinks to the bottom and doesn't come back up. Now, I'm being told that they actually have changed the formula of the plastic that they're using. It's much more dense, so obviously it's going to sink. It's heavier than the water that it sits in, so obviously it's going to fall to the bottom. And for me, they've just solved the biggest problem that they had with their products. So just before I go out and use this, I just want to set this up. So what I've done is I've put some water in the bottom of my bucket just to where the top of the scrub and pump sits. So what I'm trying to show you here is when you pump this with your wash mitt, and I'm trying to keep my hands out of it to give you a clear shot, that's the sort of water action that's going to be forced into your wash mitt, cleaning it as you go. I think you'll agree, much better than using something like one of the washboards to scrub your mitt on. With this, you can do that and pump and wash water into it at the same time, making a much cleaner mitt as you do so. So just for demonstration purposes, this is a brand new cheap £1 mitt. I use these for lower areas. So what I'm going to try and do is get this. This is brand new. I'm going to try and get this dirty, and then we'll see how good the pump and scrub actually is. So there we go, quite a bit. You can see here, dirt in that mitt now. We'll go and give it a pump and a scrub. Okay, so this is our grubby mitt. As you can see, there's a lot of debris in that. Now, I normally wouldn't get this dirty, but just for demonstration, I thought I would. I'm going to give this a good rinse now. And that, to me, bear in mind I've got dirt on my hands now, that to me looks absolutely pristine again. What do you think? So the DetailGuardz scrub and pump. I want to know this week what you think of it before I give you my final thoughts. So pause the video now, go and put some comments below about what you think, and then come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Done? Okay, right. So the first thing we need to mention is the price. So you need to have the dirt lock bucket filter to use the scrub and pump attachment. That's the first thing. This won't attach to any other grit guard. It only works with the DetailGuardz grit guard. So you need to have one of these first. Now these are around about £15, which, you know, is not the most expensive thing in the world, and neither is it the cheapest for a bucket, for a grit guard. But after that, the scrub and pump attachment is another £16. These are UK prices. So overall, as a package, you're looking at around about 30 quid. Now that does seem a little bit steep for something you're going to chuck in your bucket, but I think there's a different way of looking at it. This is borderline on the price of a decent-ish snow foam lance, and I think that's the way you need to look at it. It's another bit of kit in your arsenal in that elusive search, shall we call it, for the holy grail of wash methods. So this is going to give you something else that your current 2-bucket method doesn't give you. Okay, so you're going to be able to scrub and wash, as I've already shown you outside, the wash mitt as you're rinsing that mitt out from cleaning a panel. Once you've washed it, once you've scrubbed it, you go back in and you pick more solution up and you wash another panel. And your mitt, you know, is going to be cleaner than if you didn't have this, okay? And that's, I think, is the way you need to look at it. It's an investment. We're making these small steps to get to that ultimate wash method, and I think that's the way we need to look at it. So, not only can you wash mitts with this whilst they're in use, with this in your rinse bucket, you can use this as a bit of cleaning kit outside of washing your car. So, you can use it for washing brushes out, for instance. You know, you can wash the brushes out on this in a bucket of water, obviously, and it'll clean brushes. Same thing for applicators, you know, microfiber and sponge. And tyre applicators, it works with them really well as well. So, yeah, I think it's a little bit of like an investment-y sort of purchase. Yes, it's expensive to start with if you look at it that way, but as I said, if you look at it as an investment, as something that's going to up your game, then I don't think you'll mind spending 30 quid. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. The next thing, I just want to call this out very quickly. This is the Simple Wax Suds, the one of one that Nadeem made for me for this channel. And that is the Simple Wax Suds, the pure shampoo, but with an orange scent. And I've used that today, and wow, my God, does that smell good. If you're watching this video, fella, get some scents in your shampoos. That is a step up from what I tested with just the pure shampoo with no scent. I love it. Anyway, back to the scrub and pump. Even if, like me, you use a 0 bucket method, you're not into 2 buckets, not normally, not day to day. So at that point, I then have a bucket full of my mitts. And these are ready to go in the washing machine. Now, I think I could use this to wash these mitts out, to dry them, and send them straight back into the cupboard without using the washing machine. And if I can, absolutely brilliant. This is going to save me time and effort and money from putting all my mitts through the washing machine. So I see uses for it even with those guys who don't use the 2 bucket method. So that's how I'm going to be trialling it out next time. Anyway, that brings us to the end of this week's video. Thank you for watching. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on the bell notification, then you'll be made aware of when my next video goes live. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.